They say that I'm on the road, maybe I just lost it. These nights keep on taking toll, find me out here on my own.
Hi guys, thanks for coming. So today's vlog is going to be, it's really bright today. Today's vlog is going to be jumping 5 horses round a course in our main arena, which I'm really excited for. It's going to be Benny's first course with me. It's going to be Jaguar's first jump since the 2nd of January, so in his first jump in pretty much 2 months. And yeah, the girls are all going to jump around again, which I just love jumping them all, so I'm very excited for it. So I'm just going to, I've got a course set up. It's quite small at the moment because it's for the young horses, but I will talk you through the course, and yeah, then you can watch all the horses jump around it. Oscar has come to join us. Hello. Good boy. We've got some painting going on as well. Oh, Mum's busy getting things ready for when shows start again. So the first fence is this red oxer off the corner, and as you can see, obviously the shed's there and there's quite a lot going on, so the horses will probably find it quite spooky. So I need to make sure I get my right leg on and push them, their left shoulder into it to stop them spooking away from it, and then they should stay nice and straight. So the first fence is probably only about a 90 centimetre course for Jaguar to jump round. So the first fence is quite straightforward. I mean, it wouldn't be the easiest first fence, but there's nothing particularly difficult about it. I've got a nice ground line there for him to, just to help him and teach him. I like to jump my horses round courses, especially the young ones, with ground lines, as I think it's really important for them to educate them. So coming to fence 2 is that red, white and blue fence there. So it's a nice dog leg down this line. What I don't want to do is run all the way to this. I want to use this corner here to just steady up a bit, shorten the canter, and then move forward back to this. So there's 3 strides down here. So fence 2 is not too big at all, nice and small for him to pop over. And then a nice 3 strides down to the next fence at 3. So I'm just going to show you how to walk my distances again. So I go 2 steps for his landing, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 for 1 stride, 1, 2, 3, 4 for 2 strides, 1, 2, 3, 4 for 3 strides. The fence is there, 1, 2 for takeoff. So that is a 3 stride distance down there, which walks 16 yards for a horse. So after we've jumped this, it's going straight towards the gate. So what I don't want to do is, especially with the young ones, I don't want to let them get too close to the gate. So in this case, I am going to just cut the corner a little bit, because the last thing I want is to head straight towards the gate and then either get a bit nappy or hang by the gate too much. So I'm just going to, I've got plenty of room to get to the next fence, which is there. So I can afford just to not go right into the corner by the gate. I get right into this corner though. Again, a little bit of left leg just to turn them away from the shed so they don't spook at it. And it's a nice line straight down here. I've got the fillers out to the side for him because obviously he's young, he's never seen a fence like this, and everything I do for especially the young ones, is encourage them. The last thing I want to do is scare them. So I'm going to walk this again. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The video did cut out on me there. It is 5 strides down this distance, but with the young ones I will actually ride them on 6 down here, because what I don't want them to do, you know, Jaguar's got such a big stride, I don't want him to learn that he lands and runs off with me. He needs to learn to land and wait for me. So I'm going to just steady him up and go 6 down there. It helps me adjust the canter, it will teach him, and then when I'm jumping around a bigger course and there's a bit of a short distance, I can steady him up and shorten my canter nicely without having to pull his back teeth out to slow him down, basically. So yeah, I'm gonna go 6 strides up there on him. The girls will all go 5 because they know what they're doing, you know, and when they're jumping around 140, they need to go on a nice distance down there. But at this height, I'm gonna add a stride down there on the young ones. So down here is fence 6 to 7. I've showed you how to walk my distances now, so I'm not going to do that again, but this ride's 6 strides down here. I will jump all of them on the 6 strides. It's a nice oxer coming into the line, straight down to number 7. It's got a bit of a ground line in front of it for Jaguar and Benny to jump. And then, as I say, when it goes up for the girls, they won't have any ground lines. they'll just jump around it a lot bigger. So after 7, it's a very tight turn back to 8. I know it doesn't look tight, but from there to there, it's actually a very tight line. So on the young ones, I will do a circle here. It's a very tight corner. So I'll do a circle on them, make sure they're nice and balanced and level, because the last thing I want to do is rush this corner and not be straight for this, not have the right canter, and end up heading towards the gate. So for the young ones, I will do a circle here. And then again, after this fence, it's very tempting for them to shoot to the left. So I need plenty of left leg to keep them straight through their shoulders, so they don't try and do a U-turn and go out the gate. It's just basic things that all young horses do, but it's just doing everything we can to prevent that. Then round here to the water tray. These poles will be moved, so I can get nice and straight to this, come right out and get straight to this. It's quite a straightforward fence, got a water tray in front of it, which is a nice bit of ground line. Sometimes in a bigger class you'll see the water tray set back behind the fence, but yeah, as you can see, that's nice and in front of it, so it makes it very easy to jump. After this water tray, we're going back to this double, so I'm going to go around the corner, all the way around that corner. I'm not going to walk all the way around there, there's the dogs. Back to this double, so it's very simple as well, nice ascending going in and very small coming out, because as I say, Jaguar hasn't jumped for 2 months now, so just so he remembers how to jump his doubles, we've made it lovely and simple for him. So it's 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2, a lovely one-strided double with a bit of a ground line just to help him out again. After fence 10, we're coming back to this grey oxer, so it's a long way around the bottom corner, so rather than walking all the way around, I'll just explain to you what I'm going to do. So I'll land from the double, I'll move forward all the way around the corner, because you don't want to be getting time fox when you're going around a course, you want to make use of your open spaces. So right around this corner, I'm going to move forward in the canter, let them feel the bridle again, and then as I'm coming around here, I'm just going to shorten the canter up a bit. I'm going to sit up, steady the canter around this corner. I can use this wing here just to help me sit them up a bit, nice and straight for this. And the last thing I want to do is let them run to it. I want to make sure the canter is short enough, so then I can just gently put a little bit of leg on and get to the fence without them running. So it's a very nice simple fence for him to jump. Again, fillers are out in front of it as a bit of a ground line, nice and simple, nothing trappy or tricky for the young ones, just everything very easy. So after this, we're going back to the pink and green fence as the last fence. So round the back of this green double, no point trying to turn them back tight to anything, just keep everything really flowing with them. So all the way around this corner, fence is over there. So what I want to do is I want to get nice and straight, left leg on here to stop them falling in, and get right out and straight. Get right out and straight to this, and you can see it's a bit bigger than the rest of them. Last fence, but it has got a big ground line in front of it just to teach him, encourage him to jump big and open across his fences, and shows him how to come up through his shoulder as well. So you can see there's a very good ground line to that, but he's probably never cantered to anything that big before, so it's all about just teaching him and educating him. And that is the last fence. I did walk that course from Jaguar's perspective as a rising 5-year-old that hasn't jumped a course in 2 months. Obviously with the girls I'll ride it slightly differently, but I'll talk you through their rounds as they jump around again. So after the last fence, it's going straight towards the gate. So what you don't want to do is stop at the gate. You want to keep riding forward all the way around that corner as if you're going to another fence around the corner, so they don't learn that they stop by the gate. So yeah, I'm now going to jump all 5 horses round. I'll probably do it in the order of Iris, Saf, Olive, Benny and then Jaguar. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching them all jump round. First up is Iris. Here are some of her warm-up fences. So when I warm them up, the focus for me is for them all to come calm, relaxed, and yeah, just nice and really sweet to each fence. I don't want them to be coming fast or getting stressed or anything, so I just focus on keeping them all in a level canter and warming their muscles up rather than anything else. With Iris, I do a few more warm-up fences than I do with the others. She just takes a little bit more time to get her brain focused and a bit more relaxed, but I didn't do too much. I don't want to tire them out and just make sure they're focused before they jump round. So here is her jumping round. Fence 1 was lovely. Fence 2, she came nicely. I didn't let her run to it, and it just ended up really nice. She jumped a beautiful 3 strides down there. Around this corner, I kept a strong canter without letting her run on her head. Gave her room to this vertical because it's quite big, so she needs room to jump it. And she just went a lovely 5 down there. Notice how I stayed behind her and kept my leg on just to let her travel and carry me down the distance. Around this corner is quite a long run, so I didn't want to come too quiet, so I just monitored the canter around there. Jumped that absolutely class. Then 6 strides down here, and as you can see how tight this turn is to turn back to this next fence, which she actually jumped beautifully. Really, really good. To the water tray again. On the dog leg, I just made sure I steadied the canter up, made her wait for me. I didn't want to be running to it, and she waited so nicely for me. Back round to this double. Around the corner again, not letting it get too flat, keeping her up and off the forehand. She jumped beautifully through that double, really came off the second part. That was probably 145 coming out, and she jumped it class. So like I say, feel the bridle around here, move forward in the canter, shorten up a bit, don't let them run to the fence. She jumped that beautifully. And then back round to this last fence. Around the corner, made sure I got nice and straight for it, and again didn't let her run to it, just came on a nice stride to it, and I literally could not fault this mare today. She was amazing. So next up is Saf. She was incredible today as well. I'm really happy, but as you can see, she's just so relaxed when she's warming up, just canters to the fence, just doesn't do anything more than she needs to, and that's all I want when they warm up. I just want them to be relaxed and settled and happy to jump. As long as they've got their mind on it, I don't mind if they're not, going 4 foot above it. I'd rather them just come to it nice and sensibly like she does, just beautiful. Only does what she needs to, doesn't waste any energy, saves it for the ring. So time to jump Saffron. This was quite a good course for her, going up to 140. She's only jumped 140 before, so it's quite a big ask for her considering she's not that fit, but to be honest, she made absolutely nothing of it, which was amazing. I talked you through how I rode it with Iris, and I rode it with Saf very similar, so I'll just let you watch and see how she goes. After that fence, I did just do a circle before I came to the blue, only because it was a very big course for her to jump. She's still green at this level, and it was a very difficult line that I'd actually set up for the other two rather than her. So you will just see me do a circle just to make sure it all came correctly, and she jumped it beautifully. My phone did actually stop recording here, which was really sad, but she jumped the water tray lovely. It just missed out one fence, which she jumped really, really well. Next one to go was a very happy and sassy Olive. As always, whenever I watch this mare, she always makes me smile. She makes me smile when she jumps as well, and her tail is just brilliant. I think she jet propels herself along with her tail, to be honest with you. you can see how well Olive jumped around this whole course. I was absolutely thrilled with her today. Coming to this last fence, the way she came off it, she's just pure class. Next to go is Benny. Unfortunately, there aren't many videos of him warming up, although he did warm up really well. So this was one of his last fences before he jumped around his course. So this was the first time I jumped him around a course. I think he may have jumped around one course before I had him, but he's very green. Fence 1 he jumped really nicely. Fence 2 to 3 I had to move him forward to get down the distance, because where the fences are quite small it obviously rides a bit longer than it would around bigger fences. Then to this next fence I did make him wait for the 6, just to make sure he's listening to me and waiting, which he did really nicely. Came off it really well in front. Around here I just steadied him up, balanced him again, and then asked him for a change, which he changed nicely back onto the right lead. Down here I jumped him down on the 6 stride, so I just moved forward a bit coming down it, just to keep him travelling, which he jumped beautifully. And then you'll see here I did a circle again before I came to the blue, just to compose the canter again, make sure he's waiting and listening after jumping down that distance, which I do with Jaguar as well. I just think it's better to get it right and make sure all the basics are there in training, rather than trying to rag them around the corner and it not going to plan. So I have no idea whether he'd ever jumped a water tray before or not, but he just went straight over it like a little angel. And then he came back round to the double, and again I had no idea if he'd jumped a double before, hence it being a lot smaller. You can see the size difference between the double and the other green fence. Just made sure it was nice and small, just to encourage him to jump through it, which he went through it really beautifully. Changed leg there as well. He's really starting to get the hang of balancing, waiting for me, which I'm really happy with. And then again, coming to this last fence, just Larry went to run, but he didn't. He waited for me and ended up jumping absolutely beautifully. So big pats for him, and that was him done. Next up is Jaguar. He was fresh, so he had a nice lunge before I got on him, and then a good bit of work. So this was him coming to his first fence. He had a little spook at it, but jumped it nicely. It's the first fence he's seen in 2 months, so I can't really blame him. But I'm really, really pleased with him. As you can see, I'm just trotting him really slowly to fences. He's got to learn to wait, not run at them. He loves jumping so much that he just wants to get to the fence, and he needs to learn to wait for me. Here's him jumping around the course. As you can see, he just had a little spook there, but he's got a good attitude, so he just kept going when I put my leg on. Coming around to the first fence, I got nice and straight. I made him wait for me. I was maybe a little bit close, but I'd rather that than run at it. Just make him wait for me, and it teaches him to use their shoulder, so I'm not bothered about it at all. This next line he jumped really well, maybe a tiny bit forward down it, but he saw the gate, so after that I just used the corner to really steady him up again. Come nice and sensible to this next one. Next one he tried to run me into it, so I just kept hold of him gently, just made him wait for me, and then went 6 strides down here, as you can see, making sure the canter was nice and adjustable. And for such a big horse, it's really impressive that not even 5 years old yet, he can add a stride down to 5 strides. Coming to this next line, as you can see, a bird flew out the hedge, and he spooked at the bird flying out the hedge. I thought I'd include this in the video because obviously with young horses not everything goes right, but I think it's the way you deal with it is important. For me, I just walked him up to the hedge, gave him a pat, and then carried on with the round, and it wasn't a problem at all. Whereas if you start making a deal about things, then it just becomes a bigger issue. I just quietly cantered back round to it, did absolutely nothing differently, and he jumped it beautifully. Jumped down the line absolutely perfect, got a bit keen down it, but he did wait for me and do a nice 6. As you can see, after this I'll do a circle again, just like I did on both Saf and Benny. He has got such a beautiful canter. He's so balanced for a big horse. When I did the course walk, I said about using left leg after this fence, and you'll see how much left leg I use and how we still end up almost going that way. So he actually did step on that and scare himself a little bit, but that's the thing. If I hadn't have had so much left leg on, we probably would have ended up out the gate. So things aren't always going to go perfectly with the young horses, but it's just about educating them and correcting them. So next time he'll probably run that way a little less. He'll probably start listening. So to his double, I just made him wait to it nice and steady, jumped through it perfectly and did a lovely change after it. Now, in my opinion, for a rising 5-year-old big horse like him, the way he came to these last 2 fences were absolutely perfectly. He was relaxed, steady, he didn't rush, but he stayed with me. He didn't try and run at them, he didn't drop behind the bridle, he just stayed underneath me and carried me to them and jumped them both absolutely beautifully. So I really couldn't be happier with how he ended up. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, watching all 5 of them jump around a course. Here is Jaguar's course that he jumped in the background, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.
They say that I'm on the road, maybe I just lost. These nights keep on taking toll. Find me out here on my own.